Real Estate Masters. Everything you need to know about real estate, from buying and selling a house and the latest in local development and community projects to investing in local, national, and international properties. And now, here are two people who know their way around all things real estate, Tamika Bryant and David Johnston.
Welcome. You're watching TV25's Real Estate Masters. I'm David Johnston, my co-host Dr. Tamika Bryant. Today we're shooting on location at Affinity Enterprise Group in Kansas City's Northland. We're accompanied today with Sean Wodel. He is Vice President of Sales for REI Guard. Good afternoon and welcome, Sean. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You bet. So would you talk to us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what REI Guard is?
Sure. REI Guard, which is offered exclusively by National Real Estate Insurance Group, is the largest and longest running insurance program in the country, built specifically for residential real estate investors. So it's really all that we do. It's our niche market. Built it about 18 years ago. So it's been going long term. I mean, started with the Home Investors franchises. So built it initially for individuals who are doing fix and flips. Individuals needed short-term coverages and allowed them to pay month to month. And it was just evolved over time to be able to accommodate for an investor that maybe has renovations as well as occupied, hold long terms, and vacant properties. So collectively, we build a master schedule to fit an individual investor's business model, regardless of what that consists of.
Yeah, that's a really great business model. And actually, this week I did send you guys a request for information.
All right.
I've run into I have several investment properties of my own,
Great.
and I've always struggled with my insurance in that while I'm renovating it, really they only give me 30 days.
Right. Yep.
While it's vacant, and then they want somebody in there, and it can be a little bit stressful. So I saw that that's kind of one of you. And Tamika will say niches, because that's such a, it's a great way to make money. It's
absolutely. And having a monthly reporting form like what we offer allows an investor to be able to accommodate through all three phases of occupancy. So you may pick up a location that's vacant and boarded up, start rehab in 30 days, and we can cover it through all three phases of occupancy into when it becomes occupied with a tenant in there.
Oh, awesome. And then you do other services as well, or is it?
Yeah, we really try to put our blinders on for the property and liability in terms of the investment properties, but we also can assist with any line of commercial real estate. So that's really my background before I came on board with National Real Estate Insurance Group and REI Guard a couple years ago. When Mike and Tim purchased my company, which was Core Insurance Group out of Cincinnati, we dealt with larger habitational deals, so large apartment complexes, ancillary coverages like an umbrella, E&O, D&O, really whatever an investor needs.
Okay, so some of our people might not be familiar with our lingo. So errors and omissions.
Errors and omissions, directors and officers, depending on if you may.
So like liability insurance.
Any kind of professional liability.
Professional liability insurances. So that's important for the investor because.
Well, there's added risk to it, right? So there's a premises liability policy that's designed really to cover your investment property for the premises and usually out to 50 feet beyond that premises for slip and falls, personal injuries. But if you get if you're a property management company that's named in a lawsuit that maybe needs, you have an employee that does something wrong, takes the rent, and instead of dropping it off at the bank, runs with it, or they do something negligent to a tenant and injures them, sometimes you need some additional liability coverages that aren't going to be covered under a premises liability policy.
Okay. I've noticed also, I think, on your website that you do contractor liability. Is that correct?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, because from my personal experience, I've had contractors come over, and one of the things I always say is, "Oh, do you have insurance?"
Right.
And then that's when it can get a little sketchy.
They're
like, yeah, sure.
Right, yeah.
I always get that one. Yeah, sure, we got insurance.
When do you
so.
need to see it?
Right, exactly. And is it still enforced, right? Because the tricky thing about that is contractors' policies, they're purchased with a month or two of premium up front, and they get a nice certificate that shows coverage for an entire year. So on month 3 or 4, when they're in between jobs, if they let that coverage lapse, you have no way of knowing. So.
And then their worker slips and breaks his hip
and all of a sudden,
in your house.
Your liability policy is paying for defense costs that they shouldn't have to, right? So what we always tell, or what we recommend for an investor to do is before a general contractor even comes onto your property to start renovations, you want to get a couple pieces of information from them. Their certificate of liability that shows they have GC coverage or liability coverage for the contracting business. If they are going to have workers on site, their workers' compensation insurance. But you need to go a step further, right? So those certificates actually have a couple of nice pieces of information they provide you with. They're going to give you the carrier, the national carrier that's providing the coverage, but more importantly, they give you the local broker or agent that wrote that coverage. So get an email out to that agent every month, request that, to confirm that coverage is still in good force. They'll do that for you. They have service teams that are able to do it, and those GC policies are very transactional in nature, so they're used to having that. But also request or require actually that to be listed as additional insured to the
Okay.
time that general contractor is working on your property, so that anything they do negligent, their liability coverage extends to you as the owner if you're named in the lawsuit.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, it was a whole
A lot.
lot. You're all fired up today.
Yeah.
I mean, that,
We like
I
that.
just talked to somebody 5 minutes ago, and it's fresh in my mind.
So I got the leftovers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you get the same one over and over again. So
Yeah,
here's all the time.
gosh, for the agents who are, of course, tuning in, we also have homeowners and everyone who runs the gamut who watches the actual show. So soon I know we're going to have to go to break, so I don't want to start a conversation and then have to jump back into it.
Sure.
But I specifically want to slow down just a little bit because you hit on some key things that as an investor, I know now that as a new investor, I probably should have known then.
Right.
And so as we have new investors coming into the market or agents who are working with investors who may not know, I definitely want to dive into a little bit more on that 3-part phase and what you guys are covering, because that is very unique to the market. And, you know, I know people don't pay attention to the insurance part when they're going. It's just like, let's go to a name we know and then let's do it. And this is so much bigger, and it has covered my investment butt for years.
Okay.
This product has.
Good.
Well,
so.
on that, we are going to take our little break right now,
I
Sean.
knew it
So,
was coming.
so
I
you can
knew it was
you
coming.
can you
I
can
knew it.
ruminate on
I
that
knew it.
question. I'll have
All
to
right.
figure out what it was myself. You've been watching TV25's Real Estate Masters with myself, David Johnston, Tamika Bryant, our guest today, Sean Wodle. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back.